that the security agencies, and in this case especially the lead security agency, the Ghana Police Service, is in control of the situation. They, led by the IGP and the POMAP, would investigate whatever has happened in the past. And all I'm assuring the one is that the security agencies so far are up to the task, and we believe and we support them to do their work. It is their domain of investigating crime, and I believe that the last 2 days, you in WA have really observed that the police have taken steps to, as it were, enhance the security of the area. I believe all of you are more confident. Now, as I said, the trend was that anytime there was a heavy rain, after that there was an occurrence. I want to believe that so far is the hard work of the police. But this is purely the police activity. The Director General of Police is in town. The IGP will come into town. He would come and be in control, and the indication is that he's likely also to come and brief the paramount chief as to what is happening. For me, express on behalf of the President and the people of Ghana our condolences to all families who have lost loved ones, and that our thoughts are with them now, and that we will do anything possible to support the requisite agencies, police, immigration, dealing with foreigners and the rest of them. But I did make it clear that in all these matters, the policy is for the rule of law to be enforced. That if you have information, you surrender, give the information to the security agencies to use. You do not resort to self-help or usurp the role of thief, to thank the community for their passion to help, for the information that they've been given and continue to give. But they should leave the real work to the police, only giving the information. So broadly, these are the matters. Express our condolences by the President, assured that the competent agencies are at it, as you can already observe, and ask that the community should cooperate with the agencies without usurping their role. Let no one take the law into his own hands. We would not allow that. Let the rule of law reign. Well, that is our domain. We are to maintain the police agency. Already you can see a difference. First of all, as you recall, in 2017, when we had events here, the police were not agile enough to be able to move people. But over the period, we've recruited more people. Last batch coming out on Friday. And today you can see that the police have deployed more people. They have also brought in more equipment. And we would give you the pledge that we continue to support the police to do their work by supporting them. And yes, I believe that the police would address full and be able to equip the police here in terms of personnel and the rest of them. All I ask for is your cooperation. Thank you. No, we are not going to rest on our oars. The people you see in uniform are only part of the police. We have a part of the police that is trained in investigating, trained in crime scene, and the CID and all that. Believe me, this police leadership knows what it's about. We will do what is needful through the proper procedures. Again, it doesn't take one Minister for Interior to just impose a curfew. The regional minister is chairman of RESEC. There's MUSEC at the municipal level. I'm hoping that what has happened over the past few days would give us peace without a curfew. But when need be, and subject to due process, we'll do what? You might look like you want to sleep earlier than normal, but we pray that it doesn't come. But
that is the work we have decided to do, for which we are paid. So we are here for you.
Day in, day out, we are bleeding. Africa, we are living in a mystery. Them are the same people that are killing. Hello, Africa. We We are one people. So make we make this place a better place and live okay. Hello Africa, see me now, see we are one people. So make we make this place a better place and live okay. Hear me now, black people make we stand strong in unity. Drop the games, make we end this calamity. Cause innocent people are losing their properties. But we stand so strong and preach this sanity. Cause this no be what Nkrumah stood for. This no be what Mandela toiled for. Jomo Kenyatta and Thomas Sankara. Same people that should protect we are the same people rather killing we. And the same people that we count on them are the same people that are killing we. Hello Africa, we are one people. So make we make this place a better place and live okay. Hello Africa, see we are one people. So make we make this place a better place and live okay. Hello Africa, we are one people. So make we make this place a better place and live okay. Hello Africa, see we are one people. So make we make this place a better place and live okay.
Fundraising for the Ghana for national government. Thank you.
Now, if you go to Hamley, there are, and across the borders, there are a number of operators who just sit there and they organize themselves into what we call Livestock Importers Association. And that association has become necessary because of the failing performance of our currency. Why? Because our people who used to go across to Burkina and Niger to buy would always need at every point in time to add a lot more Ghana cedis to be able to buy animals to trade because of the value. And yesterday we picked intelligence that all the livestock that is coming in this country now is being now diverted to Togo, because the traders now want to deal with a safer to safer transaction rather than dealing with a safer to cedi transaction, because they sell in 3 days, take the money, and by the time they go back, they are not able to buy enough animals to bring back into this country. So the point I'm trying to make is that the livestock trade is a multi-dimensional issue. The economics are important. The social factors are as well important as to how we relate with our communities, chiefs, and traditional authorities. Settling the herders and accommodating them goes a long way to enable a peaceful coexistence between transhumans and society, the local society. Dealing with our current economic crisis would severely affect the work that the herders are doing. And they will tell you,
On behalf of the Director General of Prisons and on my own behalf and my staff of the West Central Prison, Madam, we wish to say a very big thank you for this your kind gesture. We know we're in difficult times and everybody is suffering. But for you to be touched by the Almighty God to present your widow's mite to help us feed the inmates. We are very grateful.
Yes, and I know it's difficult feeding them. And also, it's our social responsibility to support. And that is why to do that. And if others in public, whatever you have that you feel can support them, I will encourage that we should put our hands together and do so. That's all I have to say.
No, actually, I must say that today will go down in the history of our central prison as one of the historic moments. This is the first time we are receiving donation of this magnitude in respect of X. And I think that we are so much grateful. We know that these donations will go a long way to improve the nutritional requirement of the inmates of our central prison. So we are very grateful to Madame Beatrice Kalio Jato as an individual done. And just like my regional commander said earlier on, we are using this your space to reach out to many kind-hearted persons, either individuals or groups, to reach out to the inmates of our central prison, particularly as we are preparing to celebrate Christmas and New Year. No support is small. They should come to our aid and support in whichever capacity the general public can support us. So I must say that we are so much overwhelmed by this particular donation, and we are grateful, and we are still asking for more. We are asking the general public to come to our aid. No support, once again, is small. Yes, I must say that it is a public knowledge that yesterday some officers from Wa Central Prison made a donation of some quantities of tubers of yams to support the inmates of Wa Central Prison. I must say that they are actually pace setters. They've set the pace for other people to emulate. These are officers on daily basis. They work with the inmates of Wa Central Prison, and considering the plight in the prison yard and being touched by the plight of the inmates in the yard, they've decided to marshal resources to organize some tubers of yam to support the inmates of Wa Central Prison. And we are grateful to the officers. Of course, they are pace setters, as I indicated earlier on, and we encourage the general public to emulate that. If prison officers are encouraged to support the inmates, it means that they understand the plight of the inmates. They know what happens in the prison yard, for which reason they think that there is a need. This is a good news going out to everybody there, and for them to also come and support the inmates of Wa Central Prisons. Yeah, maybe for security reason, I might not want to give the exact figure, but I can assure you that we have close to 200 inmates in our custody at the moment. Yeah, certainly as a community, the inmates of Wa Central Prison could have been living there without health challenges. Currently, as I speak to you now, through the benevolence of some organizations, we have an infirmary in the prison yard. But let me add that the infirmary is ill-equipped. We do not have the necessary drugs and medical equipment to be able to take care of them. And as a result of this, it's actually a major challenge. Not quite long ago, there was that kind of outbreak of skin rashes in the yard. And we have some organizations we are donating to the prisons. And for now, I think that the situation at the moment has been but we are still calling on the general public, civil society organizations, religious body, benevolent society to come to our aid by way of donating drugs to enable us meet their health requirements whilst they are in the yard.
I heard up there the streets are made of gold.
Mr. IGP, this is a wake-up call. The Upper West region needs more permanent men on the ground immediately. this should be accompanied by adequate logistical support. We also expect a shake-up within the rank and file of men and women in the service who have overstayed their welcome in the Upper West region. Our poorly lit streets and residential areas are very congenial places for criminal-minded persons to ply their trade. Respected IGP, the recent demonstration by irate youth in the Upper West region, though highly regrettable, was equally unavoidable. One cannot expect them to sit aloof and watch their grandfathers, fathers, brothers, uncles, and more to the point, breadwinners vanishing daily, sometimes for their mutilated bodies to be discovered, disposed of in the most undignified manner.
Kuna vya mkwele lokwi, banalewa nyini lita.
Yes. We don't want anybody to hear. But rest assured,
Yes, sir.
we are here for you.
We are happy with that. Your presence makes something for us, yeah.
That is the work we have decided to do,
Yes, sir.
for which we are paid. So we are here for you. Rest assured.
God bless you.
Okay. So we wish you well. Thank you very much.
Hello. Back on there.
anan ti wana mini ti jalan ka yala yala tin so ya ti kali ayi wala ayi ni nyoga hene ba han nyoga wana palo to timin go yi apiapu awajine dahayi adahayi ona andana kana mun ventin ya seda na tanyana timpana yan kunku jama ko ban ka seda na tanyana ayala mina labla obal yaka yayo bigewa janja hala dama bi obata lafiya bi obala kon sega timpana bora ko yel kiti yel ko jama ko ban kayalna te ayi bambalna ayala sere ko na o mina labla chabata jama nan bibin tunamba vya tunanna iye ahaya te gbejum kaba bahanya ba kelena ambe wana palo che adana palo ka palo wo emamu ka tekuyara awun da biblana ntie ayara tan buwan jama'ana kaba wa ka tedi aduhuna gira afugo ajun tunda ta faga namuna anda na isababu karinye abdulan ba ha tadanye ban ka polisi banan diyan da isababu biyalan kanan tadan yura da parani babai bojum sari ni banda de agwa jie angmarana obelanyan da vyan tumbatwanya jamaye cha nunje ninga nda nyam anyoga ajie to da nya ya tarhe anguli ka selema ja ona selem kona tenyana ka ta bontar hen men ba kuliti duo ka bonna tanya anyogana oba eka te ya ka suspect la o menga menga tumfuro nya bala ajun bata jamana jene bambi tana ye ko kari asahna mana bala na anta so ka tinya baja to
bola nya ya ka bontar ni ya nya
bontar he tanya la ka sermenga bat da pe jene bambe akampa ba mehe anyoha annaba akura badure mine aora amamba mihimine anen mine ajatan danye ajie before charan that no adawana ajum belon borni kani ajanyan ku be gribi ki yalka adaw bala la tanyo aji oba ebla te police ni to kubon nuhayi bala som ka palona ubabu kubantu ngani bitora because ayi belon borni bamemba badamoyan bojum police commander da do gbera awatentendamba yircha timmen ba bamba ka bla jata men na mo bla tan na mo ka palona ubin lafiya ajum belon borni bantu da tonde ba gbera awache kada na ba yala na tunambanya bla ja tongwana abla da vemen ka sumbu pon umbe to pacha ajun tumia babaron belana ansegana kapalona abon tarhe namen awuliwa bunhunga ama ba tare da nyaga henga ja beti nyina charge ponjie da bie a police jien dugona anin tampime anin babon tarhe mine tunda nya mine minba halin sala nimbiri udo bibe ku jente onda pa a jande bibe ana ja police ni bamantala ajun ba abia basian awona
Aku mau nol.
Iya jago.
Ada tradisi jauh. Pada kita media ini macamnya cendeme. Emang ya lah. Abu Bolu.
Abu Yaku. Belala. Ntia asaba uma ompili. Oda tupili yogo. Ayi doga tere ayi tere ga na pora. Ayi da pora. Awo pong. Ayi kambala awo agara pora. To kambala sama. Temende I amina mbi tiba mini bitora aswa na amana. To timbo bol po karijano de wadeka. Timite tinchele bom tinda nyeseda. To tinda nyeseda. Kaseda kelala na. Chata danya pinga se bomata. So wala ayi. Subera idage supo anya bafo to ta adio kanamen block yela ba oy abi amade dara apa abihina hidanya block ju ajama kwanga pe to tenda nya bla chana poling ka chara men bandala tubuliti sai da hana bla aga to gene tibiyene anda banda tugumu pomba na polisi bandawa ado umo karbiye de la kera men da kole ayala ni ajabie ambar embanyo ko nyese da kamacha ti jawanya to tinda gara katuno karbiye de la ti biene polisi bara dum kudi tinda ga sokla o asma dara mamman da yelku ko ngai bi pola ndamne ni aja anjore tv Cherebi anda wata motin yata bungani bayaka gine banala kamo ajun kona bi polija yeyi aga ata sun chere karja la tubi aboba chelena to sun kwana man badagaya tiken ni po banda kembla chata men da jawa ti da anda ko muni amen doctor na a chelena to ben da la ka kola da la watama an wulka ba da yoya tiniya ne kama kunyar to tinya ka bilaya na mun barga ke da yana sun yata anan bono na muna bon chale na anchana kanda na mun ko ta ba ai tinu ayun yala mami yata wala bla bon chale nga jeni ba ke jeni ma jaw yala ai joni aha yala den da biya adawa o da o chere do suoni chere do suoni enyu suo anyo ba fo anyo ba si kompe ana ja tinya che down ya minga na banyo to down tin na nyo ajie ni libere ni onda tarana o ba ni ti bibile bo yum bo la ti ba mo chiwe bo la ko anu ba mo ba chiwe chapala pili million ayi bama 1 million bama 2 ni ko hanu bama ba panga to dala do tala on pana de ko tala a dike na je ana men alibi min tin dala nya asa alibi min ba bi abi a ko si yi sha to ya abi min o mun na bi a ko si sha do yala tenda ka tenda nya ko ne do ko ne tinya bayar ka guno ka janja hala ke wani bayayya kan yo mine yalla ka bi ka janja hala timin basa ka janja hala abiye manga anjinga ba ya wa tani birni manya abiye sana man ija mbanyo to janja na ba la biye ada do ko ne ayata ko ne da a jakwalen ka polisi da ku janja na ban ta da rama ka janja ja akumban ka bi da san ki ga yuri ya sana asaju biya ta kaman do asaju ka kama mun ga tin da yawa ummin man ja a dinga yuwana ki biya kama odan da adar ne umbi adar burin ana fitra to ko ka on sagi da mun da ji arajo amma da pena mo ga da ne sun ko sai yu ba al janja ho ya bala fiye ya muna da sabo muna wuce ko yi
mbayo lo boli mala alaji bolu mutala bolu
mahama
numbo mne na sare kudini
ali ni wa mambo sana ni wa ya jira
bayna wulti yo chaw fiya ne man bala ira ngabo
yola mama yola mana kuma ga da ai to kana yala ga ja ba yalla to ja ba mun hela da ba to yalla ja fa ko ka tero mun yalla ai ko yalla mangala aya to da tenyo a fesin nan tinyire zie o sukan te tere bieni sukan ana o kompe ana o bako ana tunda da nya a fesi bieni an sakar bieni konan kulun burja ta ko ba ha ba tunda ne bila abin kidan dibin Allah ka farsi da wajiye But we need the whole idea at on your toman and from idea. We need to man and idea before. Killing the lady at Alaga. A yilum zilla banat in your and a sa down. A yilum zilla banat in your hole. Near that amatira dao. Why you need ya, what send ya. But here, but Nanya a dao and Manga and Yelena, Batala Bambala. Chamayaraman, Cham Boraman, Chan number 20 400 Samita. And then Bano Yala Adana, my ambassador, Cheru Jabasa, Yala Dao. Yelbella Mameta, Hang and Ayapum, one and Yala Dao. Eh. Purilla Mambo, Cherepum. Mambo Kaya, Gira and Ayapum on a level. Ndanyila asuo nubada layang kemana tiji buruana bandira ka banyila suhi bawanya suo ana ubafo anan opam obase pampe mada tawana bande la kan duba ta ne za ta si habane za ta si habon cha karkaru jun ndaga nyugo spenza anungo ndagu gida no kan tinyo spenza anungo bai kan dibi melo dibi aba fo me kono wana tuma da kudi kan bilen da umuni abu ndo umuni mo sigi a cha hasuo a cha watuma ji aba fo bon numbi andanya azio anen da nya he bandi yu hazio ana man da ya ada nya he mitin din ne
awul wi bama su kon na ba fo ka
yes bama ka do nyaw ni su gida bayan.
In January this year, 1 kilo of road was 16 cedis 50 pesos. As we speak now today, it's 27.
I mean, afford Sechi water. That should be common to every Ghanaian to buy it.
It is also a duty call, a responsibility, and a primary function of NYA to address the August House during your sittings and to observe proceedings as you deliberate on pertinent national and local issues inimical to the growth and development of the youth and the society as a whole. Mr. Speaker, the concept of youth parliament empowers the House to hold regular and periodic parliamentary proceedings with policymakers and duty bearers to deliberate on relevant societal challenges that affect the socio-economic growth and well-being of young people in the region, and to propose the way forward from which the appropriate actions and relevant stakeholder institutions will be engaged to address such identified issues. I encourage the House to continue to play this critical role since you are a mouthpiece to the teeming voiceless youth in the region. I also wish to use this opportunity to commend our unflinching partnership with Plan Ghana for their steady support over the years. NYA acknowledges the researchers house conducted in Y East on the access of adolescent reproductive health services. It wouldn't have been more appropriate and timely than now, as Ghana and the whole world is struggling to recover from the devastating effect of the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Lives and livelihood have ravaged. Social and economic activities came to a standstill, making students to stay at home much longer than expected, therefore worsening the already bad situation of adolescent sexual and reproductive health issues and low school enrollment, especially in most of the deprived districts and communities in the region. A reliable data, Mr. Speaker, is very critical in any effective planning process and strategic decision making. When accurate data is available, it allows stakeholders to implement appropriate strategic and assess the effectiveness of the strategies and whether there is the need to adjust to the interventions. There are several contradictory and incomplete information out there that makes it difficult, precise and decisive measures to be implemented in order to tackle the issues of teenage pregnancy, child marriage, unsafe abortion, among others. I have no doubt the research findings. Mr. Speaker, I entreat the House to continue with the stakeholders' engagement with the findings of the research, particularly so at the community level with traditional authorities, parents, guardians, the adolescents themselves, and with relevant institutions and agencies in order to get concerted effort in collaboration with all key stakeholders for the appropriate interventions to be implemented to salvage the teeming. The current global economic challenges can erode the gains made, and as is being the situation if we don't intensify our advocacy and education in these difficult times. Mr. Speaker, as we engage our communities on the ASHR, that is adolescent reproductive health issues, let us not forget to incorporate a very critical phenomenon that is a threat to humanity, which is climate change. Currently, COP27, that is a summit, is underway in Egypt, where high-powered heads of states, where top leaders, climate change ambassadors across the globe have been meeting to mark the 27th United Nations Climate Change Conference. The forum will give these leaders the opportunity to deliberate on climate change actions that will have positive impact for the globe. We are fast approaching the dry season, and sooner than later, bushfires will set in across the region. We have a duty and a responsibility to play our roles to ensure we stop bush burning, felling of trees, and other land degradation and water pollution activism in order to save the natural environment upon which the entire ecosystem depends for survival. Let us sensitize the youth, farmers, charcoal burners, hunters, women, traders, travelers, and all community members to handle fires carefully in this season, not to cause wildfires, destroying the natural environment, which is leading to unpredictable rains, floods, rainstorms, among other things, that have the dire consequences for current generation and the generation. Mr. Speaker, there is a threat of global insecurity and violent extremism in the sub-Saharan African region, and West Africa in particular, and Ghana, and we cannot exempt ourselves in the Upper West region. Young people are mostly vulnerable and are always perpetrators of victims to these extremist activities. I call on you all to be positive vigilantes in your various communities and support the See Something, Say Something campaigns. I believe the youth and all citizens have a collective responsibility to play our roles in complementing government efforts so we could have one safe Ghana for the next generation to inherit. Mr. Speaker, honorable members of the House, ladies and gentlemen, I entreat you to discuss this critical topic dispassionately, devoid of partisanship and personalization, so that it is at the end the national interest and the center of all events. I wish you a very fruitful parliamentary proceedings. May God richly bless us all. Yebareka.
Right, Honorable Speaker of Parliament. Honorable Members of Parliament, representative of the Honorable Regional Minister, invited guests, friends of the media, my dear students, all protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen. As the motion that has been put before the House, that how can Ghana Education Service promote quality adolescent sexual reproductive health education in the Wa East District? As you may all know, Ghana Education Service is a caretaker of all children of school-going age. And my dear students sitting here are not an exception. And so, the matter of their reproductive health service is a matter of concern to us. Sexual reproductive health education is aimed to achieve a range of behavioral and health outcomes, including reduced sexual activities, including postponing age of first intercourse. Young people constitute a major potential for socio-economic development in every country. In Ghana, young people aged 15 to 24 years account for 30% of the total population. As future leaders of the country, it is important to ensure that young people are educated, well-informed, and provided with improved healthcare services and facilities. Creating an acceptable atmosphere for adolescents to learn about transition into adulthood is one of the central issues in education. The Ghana Education Service has taken it upon itself to form health education clubs in the various schools in our country. And Wa East District is not an exception. However, teachers are trained as to how to handle students as far as their reproductive health is concerned. In the various schools, we have health teachers who are given the necessary training to handle our students. The Ghana Education Service has also formed HIV alert clubs in the various schools, especially the junior high schools. Students are made aware of how the virus is transmitted, its signs and symptoms. Students are taught the ABC of the virus and other STDs. When we talk about ABC, the A stands for abstinence. GES, we preach abstinence. We keep on telling our students, even though honorable members are aware that it is difficult for them to abstain, but we keep on preaching abstinence. Then we say, if they cannot abstain from sex, then they must be faithful. We are not encouraging students to practice sex, but we are all aware that even children as young as 10 years are practicing sex. I just deleted, what do you call it? Something from my phone this morning. Small children having sex. They just went to school, went behind a staircase, and were having sex. And somebody sat and videoed it and put it on the social media. It is very bad. We also use the C as what? Use condoms. Those who cannot abstain will have to use condoms. And I bet you, if you go to the drugstores, those who patronize the condoms are the younger ones. They will tell you children as young as 9, 11, girls come to patronize condoms. So you can imagine what is happening. Adolescent health corners. The adolescent health corners are places where adolescents can have access to reproductive health information from health care providers. It is associated with adolescent knowledge and use of modern methods of disease and pregnancy prevention. This is a GES and Ghana Health Service collaboration to help the adolescent child who is in school and sexually active. Educating adolescent males and females on reproductive health related sociocultural response will enable them to understand themselves as well as people of the opposite sex. This will help towards the development of the desirable behavior such as mutual respect for the opposite sex and the recognition of the complementary roles of the other sex. We teach students the changes that they will see during their reproductive development stages in their lives. School health facilities have been giving our students education on menstrual hygiene. As a lot of you, or most of you will remember, in May this year, we celebrated the International Day of Menstrual Hygiene. And this one, there was a lot of floats. We brought some of our school children together. We had floats through the principal streets of Wa with placards, letting people understand that menstruation is normal. A lot of us sitting here, especially the students, when a girl gets up and you see that she has soiled herself, then they begin pointing fingers at the person. But with the education that is going on now they have seen menses to be very normal. We have adolescent reproductive health clubs in most junior high schools. Biologically, adolescents are experiencing pubertal changes in brain structure and sexual interest at a start. Psychologically, adolescents' cognitive capacities are maturing. The experience can be confusing for them. Therefore, these changes, if not managed and accompanied by responsible behavior and within safe and conducive environment, can lead to risky sexual behavior leading to teenage pregnancy, sexual transmitted infections at the age of 14. In order to curb the situation, the Ghana Health Service officially adopted the establishment of adolescent health clubs in most schools as a way of its strategy to reach out to adolescents and youth with sexual and reproductive health information and services. To standardize the establishment, the Health Service brought GES and other stakeholders to review and expand the current visited. The successful implementation of adolescent reproductive health programs require the cooperation of many different sectors, including health, education, social welfare, the media, justice, sports, labor, religious body, women and children's group, non-governmental organization,
religious authorities, traditional authorities, communities, and the families. I am mentioning all these groups because if we start educating the children in the community, I think things will change for us. You realize that the number of hours that parents stay with their children in the house is more than the number of hours that teachers stay with these children in school. And so it is a collective responsibility of all these bodies. For instance, if the imam at the mosque on Friday talks about reproductive health, it will go a long way to help all of us. If the pastors start preaching, letting the girls and boys know when they are maturing, when you see these signs, it means that you are matured and anything can happen. You see, we need to introduce these things. And very soon, the training colleges will start introducing that in their curriculum, where the student teachers will be taught these things, so that when they come out, it's going to be part of the syllabus that they are going to incorporate into the teaching. And it is going to help all of us. I think you all remember that was it somewhere around some 1 or 2 years ago, when they wanted to introduce this complementary sexuality education. Really, it was the way it was introduced. That is why a lot of people objected to it. If KG teachers will start teaching children, this is called the clitoris. What is it used for? It is not used for fetching water. It's used to enjoy sex. What are you telling them? They will want to go out and practice. You tell the boy, this is a penis. It's not used for pounding fufu. It is used to enjoy sex and make children. What do you think will happen? They will want to go out and start practicing it because that is what the teacher has told them. So it was the implementation that made people to reject it. Else, sex education is very necessary for everybody. And I think that if we all come on board, this menace in White East will reduce. If parents are on board and know that it is their responsibility to teach their children in the houses, I don't think that children will go out and meet somebody who will tell them, if you don't have sex at early age, you will not have children and all those things. I think those things will all help us. So let us all come on board. GES alone cannot do it, but everybody needs to support GES to be able to do these things together. And when all these things are done, I think White East is not an exception, but almost all the districts and the whole country need to work at it. I was happy I did not sit down. I went to gender. I said, Madam Gender, did you see this? What do we do? Before GES, we do not have the funds to provide these things for the girls. But what do we do? What can you do? She did not sit down. She also got up and did her own thing. My brothers and sisters, honorable members of parliament, it is not easy. But I am happy that you are going to start producing reusable parts. That is the solution to our problem. These other parts, you use them and throw away. But with the reusable parts, at least when you even give 2 sets to a girl, it can take the girl a whole year. Then the following year, you start thinking of reproducing and giving them again. So I think it is in the right direction, and we appreciate you for that. And we want to thank you very much for everything. Honorable Speaker, I am done.
Which we know has some kind of cultural pushback, and through the training, we'll be able to manage to do it. We hope by that we'll be able to encourage a lot more girls to be able to use their cups because of its sustainability. The cups, for instance, you can use up to 10 years and you don't have to worry about buying disposable parts. The cloth part you can use up to 3 years. And so we'll be going through all these and then the benefits it gives. We are also happy we have the regional gender officer here, and then the regional girl child education officer. We have, in the last year, tried so hard to penetrate in the different regions. And our conversation outside here, like you've not heard from us for the longest of time.
Last year we turned 100 years, and we are celebrating the climax, and so we are using the opportunity to expand in different regions. Last week we were in Jaffa for like a week on a different project, and this we're here. So we're having a lot more conversations after here to see what partnerships and collaborations we can have for girls right from junior high school all the way to tertiary. Thank you very much.
Actually in PowerPoint. So please forgive me if you see me. I just had to sit at the back there, try to transfer the PowerPoint into this sheet so that I can present it to you people. Second, our regional fire officer loved to be here. If you even see the letter you brought, on the meeting, he said that he will be there in person. But unfortunately, today and tomorrow, they are having all regional fire officers conference in Accra with the Honorable Minister of Interior. And our region will be handicapped should he not go. So he has therefore delegated us, myself and my deputy, to come and represent him. So he sends his sincere apologies. Third, please, we are sorry for coming late. The letter that was given us actually stated that we are going to have the program at House of Chiefs. We were there and we were not seeing any sign. So I had to call speaker twice, but he couldn't answer. Somebody now came there and said, oh, that the youth parliament had changed their venue. That is why we are late in coming. And I'm sure if we had also come early, I saw in your order the time for apologies. So all these apologies would have been rendered. So having said that, I move on. To us, what is bushfire? Today, we've been asked to talk on the measures that the command is taking to reduce bushfires. To us, bushfires refer to the controlled and uncontrolled burning of the vegetation. When we say controlled, for example, if you want to burn this hole, you make fire belt around this hole. Then you set fire to this hole. The fire belt will prevent the fire from spreading to any other part that you don't intend to burn. You have, by that, controlled your burning. But the uncontrolled burning is the one you just set fire to the bush, then allow it to go to burn to any other place. Causes. We have natural and artificial causes of bushfires, like lightning. When a lightning strikes, we can have bushfires. Or if a rock falls on another rock, we can have bushfires. But these are rare. Majority of the causes of bushfires are by us, by our activities, the artificial ones, like hunting for games. I was traveling along the Wa-Kumasi road. I got to a village called Poyintanga. I saw a group of people, a group of young boys. They had set fire to the bush. And I asked, they said there were mice in that bush. So they were interested in those mice. So they had to set fire to that bush without controlling. And that fire, I'm talking about last year, please. This year, all the records, the statistics that I'm giving, please, they are last year statistics. This year, we are yet to record any reported incidents of bushfires. So please, all that I'm going to give, they are for last year. So they set fire to that bush in the name of what? Hunting for those game. And that fire spread to other farms, destroying so much. Then arson. Some people are just interested in setting fire to the bush. They just don't have any reason, but they just set fire to the bush and see how the flames will rise. The nomadic activities, our Fulani herdsmen, they set fire to the bush so that the dry grass can give way, so the new fresh grass can sprout out for their animals. honey harvesters, and clearing of farmlands. The effects. As for the effects of bush, we recorded 32 reported. Please, my emphasis is on reported. If there is any bushfire that does not come to our attention, it has not been what? Reported. So please, if you see that it doesn't come, it is not part of what I am talking about. Last year we had 32 reported bushfire cases. And out of this, it involved 25 farms. So I decided to do a small mathematics. I just assumed that these 25 farms, each of these farms had 4 acres. And I further assumed that each of these 4 acres will produce 5 bags of maize. So if you multiply the 5 bags that I am presuming each of the farms will produce, and that will give us what? 500 bags. That is what was destroyed by the fire. And I must state that sadly about 90% of our vegetation cover was destroyed by fire last year. Now, high tension poles. Most of our okay, thank you. They are occasioned by the bend down poles. So last year, 158 wooden high tension poles that were involved. Out of these 158, 96 of them were saved by us. 50 of them were partially bent, and 12 were completely bent down. So please, the bushfire menace is so devastating. Today, our school children are here. If we mention some animals, they will not know them. We don't have, they can't tell. They've only read it in books, and they've not seen it because of what? Bushfires. Our soil fertility is lost because when you burn, you kill the soil microorganisms that borrow the soil to allow for aeration so that water and air can seep through it. So please, let us stop burning the bush. Now, what is Ghana National Fire Service doing about it? 1, we do education and sensitization. We do radio programs, and thanks to our speaker, he has been giving us time on his radio station and other radio stations. We are grateful for the time you always give us to do the education. We visit basic schools, we visit JHS, we visit SHS, and even the UBIS. Anytime they are to do their is that congregation? Matriculation. Thank you very much. Anytime they are to do their matriculation, they call us to come and give education. We also visit churches and mosques to do education. We visit bus terminals. We go to Deba grounds. We have target groups like farmers, women groups. We go door to door. Then training. B-ZAR Law 229, the Control and Prevention of Bushfire Law, Section 7. It states that we should train fire volunteers. Let me quote, please. I'm in the House of Parliament. So, okay, please. Section 7. When you go to Section 7 of the Prevention and Control of Bushfires Law, it states that we should train to bushfire volunteers. That in case you want to burn, you should get the nearest volunteer around you to assist you in the burning. And there are penalties. If you go to Section 7 of the same PNDC Law 229, Section 11, it spells out the punishment for what? Burning the bush. And challenges. Over the years, with all our education, training, and all that we've been doing to combat bushfires, we have a challenge. And the challenge is in the enforcement of the laws. In the first place, most of the district assemblies, they are supposed to have bushfire prevention subcommittees. And sadly, I'm not aware of any assembly that has such a committee in place. Then the enforcement of the laws. When somebody burns the bush and we catch the person, then it is that Tijabuyin, we are all one. Then somebody will go to the minister through the coordinating director through the, so at the end, we don't enforce the laws. Now what you can do, please, peoples, now that you are here, when you go, thank you very much, thank you. Please, when you go home, you try and clear around your bush, your houses, all the bushes around your house, you clear around it. If you have wooden high tension poles, you clear around them. Then be careful of how you handle naked fires. Some of us have farms. Some of our parents have farms. Please alert them to make fire bells of 10 feet. That's you, when you measure like this, 10 of them. You just don't make any narrow. The fire will still spread to the other side. Then do not allow children to play with naked fires. Please, the district assemblies should form the district bushfire prevention subcommittees. And also, communities and district assemblies should have bylaws on bush burning. Please, you are also going to act as agents. If you do not have any reason for burning the bush, do not burn the bush. For the sake of time, thank you.
Our gallant students from our respective institutions here in present, friends from the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I stand here for and on behalf of the father of the region, the indefatigable, affable Upper West Regional Minister, Dr. Hafiz bin Salih. He sends his felicitations and his greetings to this honorable house. He would have wished to be here to grace this auspicious and enviable parliamentary session and sitting. But as you are aware, there are other equally important issues that have taken his attention. And so all I'm here to do is a very simple exercise. And then I'll plead with honorable members of this august house to, as a matter of urgency, pardon me if I say it to perfection. That belongs to the Upper West Regional Minister, Dr. Hafiz bin Salih. If otherwise, you take me on as my person and not the Honorable Regional Minister. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I want that to go on record. I must say, mine is an observation to be made. And truth to be told, and from the bottom of my heart, the deliberations that have gone on here in this house, I have developed goosebumps. My admiration for the house has deepened. I see a full parliamentary sitting of any reputable parliament, not only in Ghana, but even at the global space. I enjoy especially the stance of the minority leader of the House. He has been very keen and key on principles and dictates and practices of every respected parliamentary proceedings. And I really did enjoy it, every bit of the deliberations thus far. And then also to say same of all honorable members from the majority side, the chiefs and all the representations. And I clearly can see the Right Honorable Speaker so gently on his mic, on his speech, the conduct have been named none other but the number 3, rightfully so deserved. Right Honorable Speaker. So thus far, I would want to indicate that this session or this sitting is not belittled in any way by the Honorable Regional Minister. Just as the Right Honorable Speaker did indicated, from the word go, the Regional Coordinating Council, and for that matter, the father of the region, the Upper West Regional Minister, has been with this house. From the first invitations that came, the letter is always routed to his office. And if you saw what he would minute on it, he minutes on all the correspondences that go directly to the office of the regional minister. And he did indicate that my PA will attend. The first one that happened and has to be postponed, I communicated with the Right Honorable Speaker. Just the way he narrated the stories, I don't want to have to go back on what has been already said. Now, what happens with the flyer? I think I just shared with the regional director, NYE, what transpires. When the flyer came to me, it was, I think, in the evening around 7:30 to 8. I don't have my direct authority to have to fly a flyer that comes, just simply because it comes with the picture of the Honorable Regional Minister. No, we don't. I don't have capacity to do that. I indicated to him firsthand, even though the letter came that was addressed and directed that I should come. When the flyer came, the Right Honorable Speaker forwarded it to me. I forwarded same to the Honorable Regional Minister, Dr. Hafiz bin Saleh. Had to take his permission. That is, we also have structures at the RCC. I had to take his permission. I think what I shared with director, he can testify. I had to write to him, sir, with your permission, can I forward, or as it were, share this flyer that is coming from Regional Youth Parliament on our respective pages? And it's not only on my WhatsApp page, it is on all our social media pages. And in fact, he gave his blessing to that effect, and I did see him as was directed. So I just want to say that the issues and concerns that have been raised, I am only but a conduit. And believe me, you, from the observations that I make here, just not leave, I will not cut any other corner to the RCC, to the regional minister's office, to deliver your information to him just as you have given to me. I want to give you that assurance. And on my own part, like I did indicated earlier, I am so carried away, I'm so overwhelmed. I am ready to spend much time with you here till closing of proceedings, because I attach, personally, I attach so much importance to whatever that is being going on here in this particular house. I thank you so very much for the opportunity, and I want to pray that.
And there's one thing I have to attest to, it's true. I have never sat this long. But my reason for sitting long today is just like the engulfed in the day's work. I was like, wow, a lot happens here. And the Honorable Speaker had made a lot of follow-up on me, severally. A number of them I've not been able, even today wasn't going to be possible, because today I was supposed to be in Japa. But I told our director here, National Youth Director, and I think necessarily somebody that said very rural communities. And yesterday when I heard about the CAP, I've been talking about it, and Speaker had discussed it with me. I even expressed interest following to one of your